What do you do when your wife is suffering with dementia and there is no support locally? Of course, you set up your own dementia group, and that's exactly what Ken Daubney in Newark has done. Today we get to talk to Ken and we find out exactly what it's all about.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Ken Daubney, and I am running the Newark Dementia Carers Group. I started this after my wife had been diagnosed with dementia. After 2 years, we realised we'd got to try and produce something for the carers and the people with dementia, something to do, because at that particular time there was nothing really to go to and get them out of the homes. So, along with a couple of ladies, I set this up in 2014. It blossomed from there because dementia, as you know, is forever going, and people being diagnosed every 5 minutes basically. But the idea behind the group was to give them something to do, get them out of the homes, out of the isolation, and we proceeded to organise certain activities which would be suitable for these people. One of the things that we did that took off the ground very quickly actually was bocce at the bowling centre, and that used to be every Wednesday. And with the help of the bowling centre, this was set up for us with the council. And up until COVID, we were able to go there every week. But as you know...
Did you want your drink, Ken? It's cold.
I'll have a little sip. As you know, COVID's put a stop to most of our activities. We've started up again now, and at the present moment we have about, I should say, 40 or 50 people in the group total. We lost a few during the COVID period, but that wasn't anything to do with COVID. It was just more or less deaths caused by dementia, basically. I started this group basically from scratch, 2014, as I mentioned before, and around about 2016 we developed it to sufficiently warrant approaching the Charity Commission to be recognised. We did achieve that, so we are now a recognised charity, which is helpful in people understanding what the group's about and being able to donate with the knowledge that it's a bona fide group and not just sort of a fly-by-night offshoot. We've done quite a lot of things for these people in the time. We've had at least five-day holidays away. The Isle of Wight, Wales, various places like that with shearings. Days out at garden centres, afternoon teas. We've done as many things as we can that seem suitable for people that have got dementia. And we've succeeded. We've succeeded in giving them something to do. And if we've achieved where we can actually put the smile on the face of someone who's got dementia, it's a privilege to do this, and it's a reward in itself, because it's a treacherous journey once people are diagnosed. There is no cure, and it's a gradual downhill journey until they don't recognise anybody, and eventually something happens to them connected with dementia. The various kinds of dementia, of course, the common one being Alzheimer's, just forgetting things, but there are quite a few other types of dementia. The common one, as I say, it starts with Alzheimer's, basically, but you do get, obviously, old age dementia, vascular dementia, lower body dementia, where people see things that's not there. And it's a terrible journey, watching people fall from this illness. I witnessed this over 4 or 5 years with my wife, once she went in a care home, until such time as, due to dementia, she fell and broke her hip. As a result, this is very common with people who've got dementia, she died from it. I feel that the group's done an awful lot, and I'm pleased that I've been able to organise this to help these people over the past 7 years. We're always looking for volunteers that have got knowledge of dementia, if possible, who know how to speak to these people, because it is actually, you require language of your own sometimes to be able to keep them happy. And that's the secret, keeping them happy, you see. But,
not now. Oh, don't expect you to now. Don't expect people to run now.
One of the things, of course, is funding.
Cheers.
We need to be able to get people to fund and donate, on account of the fact that the rooms that we hire are expensive. The equipment that we have at flow serve has disappeared, because we all know what's happened to flow serve now. So we are looking for help in obtaining some table equipment and, or funds to buy some of that. Yes, it's an ongoing thing, and we're always looking for further activities that we could perhaps bring into operation to help these people get out of the house. Once they get dementia, very often it depends on whether they're social animals in the first place, as to whether they're prepared to want to come out, or they go in a shell. They stop in longer and they become isolated, but this also affects the carer. The carer suffers just as much.
I'll see you Thursday.
Okay, well, yeah. The carer suffers just as much, if not more, by watching the loved ones fall to this dreaded disease, basically.
Thank you very much.
The problem is, of course, that there's no cure. So basically, in the past, there's been very little help in supporting not only the people that's got the illness, but also the carers. It's a fact that social services struggle with this, and at the moment, as we know, the government has started to look at the social aspect of what they can fund, hopefully to make this better. But until they can find a way of actually stopping it, I don't think they'll find a way of curing it. I feel that's probably the basis of it. And it's going to take a lot of money to actually find an answer.
Well, let me just say this to you, Ken. At some point in our lives, we are all touched by a level of dementia.
Correct.
Now, with your little group that you've been putting together and, working towards, what is it you require? What's the first thing you need?
Well, I suppose we've never actually had a permanent place for our own all the time. We have drifted from one higher room to another.
Sure.
At the present moment, the Balderton Council have been very kind to us and letting us use the big room.
Yeah. Do you have costs attached to this?
Yes, we have to pay
What type of costs are we talking about for a room this size?
We are paying at the moment £35 a set, which has been reduced by the means of the council helping us. It would have been more normally with this size room. Twice a week you're looking at £70.
£70 a week, yeah.
Which of course accumulates in a month. If we wanted it for 3 days, we'd have another £35 a day.
Sure. How long do you get that for?
We've got it for as long as we want, actually, which is very good on the council.
Oh no, that's very good. Well, at least they're supporting you somehow, aren't they?
The council have supported us, with no question about that, all the time we've been formed.
Fantastic, yeah.
I used to run, before COVID, I used to run 2 dances in here a year.
Right.
And they were very helpful in the high cost of the room for putting those on one in the year and one at Christmas time.
Of course you can't do that at the moment, can you?
We can't do that at the moment, unfortunately. We can't really even have a yearly lunch, or a half-yearly lunch.
Yeah.
This situation that we've been in has caused a lot of things that we've had to put on ice, you know.
So what is it you can do?
Well, now that we're, as a support group, we have been allowed to start up with 30 people max.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good, looking well.
Hence what you've seen on your camera today.
Yeah.
It just depends what people have got on in the respect of hospital appointments and how well they feel when they've got dementia. We never quite know how many's come in
Yeah.
because of this.
Right. No, I was going to say, do you ever join forces with like different groups whereby you can apply for funding and get things funded or not?
We've offered the little dementia group that was operating up Lincoln Road to join us.
It's just a number.
I've had nothing.
It's just the point is you feel a number.
When you do, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, you're older than me.
Is it all right?
Well, yes, I know. But you wouldn't believe that, would you?
I'm saying nothing. I'm not giving in
There you
that
go.
argument. Look after yourselves.
Bye.
Go on, Peter.
Yeah, one of the I got where I got to now.
The little group, you were talking about the little group up in Lincoln.
Yes, the gentleman that's been running the games today has got a little group of his own in Holland.
This song.
This one.
God knows.
Yeah.
He's been with my group since we started, but he does
Yeah, well, you pointed that out.
in Holland.
Oh, okay, right.
So in a way, we're not actually joined up with them because people in Holland don't particularly want to travel to Newark. But,
No, sure. And probably vice versa.
Yeah, well, we would. We have done.
Have you?
Some of them.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
In the past, yes.
Is that because of the like?
To support one another.
Yeah, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's cool.
But there's, at one stage, we used to be close to the Parkinson's group in the fact that they had a bocce slot at the bowling centre the hour before we did. We didn't actually play with them, but Parkinson's illness and dementia, there's a pretty similarity with that.
Right.
But we're not actually joined up with them.
Okay.
Basically, we run ourselves.
Yeah.
And it is a dementia carers group looking after, but we don't stop the ones who's got dementia from participating.
Sure.
You can't.
No, sure.
I mean, some dementia groups only let the carers come in.
Oh, really? Oh.
Some dementia groups don't want the carers when they've lost their partners.
Wow, so that's, you just discard them. That's not...
And that, of course, is when you've lost your partner, you need as much support as you can get yourself.
Very, very true, yeah.
At a time when it's critical and you're just in grief. So we've always had in the Constitution the people that's entitled to come are the ones that's caring for someone with dementia and that person.
Right, whoever that person may be. Yeah.
Whoever they're caring for.
Yeah, sure.
Usually the loved one, but there are occasions when somebody's looking after a friend or something like that. But dementia, we're here to take care of these people and give them something to do.
Yeah.
This is what we've been doing all the time. And I saw a need for this when I first got the information that my wife had got dementia. There was nowhere to go. You didn't know where to turn for help.
Right.
And after setting this up and getting other people involved, we can now advise people on disability benefits that are available.
Oh, right.
And other benefits that they can claim for.
Yeah.
And advise them to get powers of attorney done as soon as they can. Things like this, which, and we can tell them where to go to do it, which there was nothing like this when I first got diagnosed, well, when the wife got diagnosed.
Right. Well, what we can do is, we're getting a rounded picture today, but we will actually come back to those topics, of help and everything else, Because what I'd like to be able to do, and Newark TV, will be over the moon to do this, is to align ourselves with you and give you all the support that you need. So you've got a platform whereby you can give the information out freely.
Yes. Well, as I say, what this needs to be projected forward is that everybody that's got dementia, the carers who can get the partners out, connect with us.
Yep.
Because this is what we're here for, and this is what we're producing. We are a proper charity.
Yeah.
It's a recognised charity with a charity number, and I'm available, my secretary is available. If you need any words of comfort or any ideas of benefits and things or where to go, then of course we're closely connected with this new scheme that's being operated by the Notts County Council and the Alzheimer's Society.
What's that about? Tell us about that.
Pathway.
Oh, right.
Pathway to what's available if somebody needs some support of some kind.
Oh, good.
They've just come in on the scene now.
Yeah.
And,
so is there like a website that people need to go to, or is it on the phones? How do they get access?
there's a website on the council. We haven't got our website set up properly yet. It's been in process, but...
Who's doing that for you? Somebody locally?
Yes, well, at the moment, the Assistant Secretary is in on this. She's got quite a bit of expertise with the IT, but whichever way we go, we'll do one.
Yeah.
Even if we've got to go professional into do it,
Yeah. Well, that's something else that we'd be able to help you with, so that's not a problem.
Yes.
We just got to keep you going, haven't we?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
And volunteers, younger people who know a little bit about this, who are prepared to come and do teas and coffees and mix with people and learn how to talk to them, is essential, because I'm getting on.
You're still sprightly.
I'm 88 soon.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You're looking well.
I'm an epitome of health. But, assuming that you can't go on forever, obviously, but the group must go on forever.
I agree.
And I'd like to think that we've got back up with younger people who can step in and learn everything that we've got to tell them before such time as when we've got to back up.
Right, so let's take that issue at the moment. Right, what do you want to be put in place now?
Well, like I say, I suppose you could say we've got this, but we could do with some more equipment anyway.
Right, what equipment do you need?
We lost a table tennis table.
Right.
We lost quite a few table games, like all the dominoes and...
Yeah.
And
how many sets of dominoes did you have?
2 or 3 sets, the larger sort. We had 2 of those table skittles where the 9 skittles.
Yeah.
They all went when Flowserve packed up.
Right.
Because you know what's happened up there anyway.
Yeah, gone.
So what was up there belonging to us is non-existent now.
Right, so really, you know, they're the type of things that we can jump on. We can get that sorted. We can put the call out. We can say, come on, let's do it. If you had to put a cost against that, is there, how much would it be?
I've never quantified the cost actually, but I should say that you'd be looking at £400 or £500 anyway.
Right.
To get quite a number of the things that you want.
So but them table tennis tables are not cheap, are they? They're about £400 or £500, aren't they?
What's that?
The table tennis.
I wouldn't have thought. I would think that you'd get a table tennis table less than that.
Is it, can you?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to find out.
Well, I've got 2 sets of bocce balls, what we bought.
Yeah.
And they're about £450 anyway.
Ooh, right.
We don't need any more at the moment because we've got 2 sets.
Yeah, sure.
But this is the type of thing where the cost comes in.
Yeah.
I was only using that as an example. Right?
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
So really, what we could do with, in order to help the group out, why don't we put a list together? Yeah. Let's see what your ideal things would be, on that list, and we'll put a cost to it. Let's get a little scheme up. Yeah, let's do it. Let's just do it. You know what I mean? Because like you say, you guys have all given back in your lifetimes, so there's no reasons why we shouldn't be able to come together and help you guys out.
Thank you very much.
Now, like you say, number one priority would ideally be, to have your own facility. How big a place do you actually need? Do you need a place this big?
I think we do to do the bocce as well.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the other thing we've got to look at then, really, this is costing you £35 a time. How many? Which is cheap. That's really subsidised. Subsidised by the council. It's brilliant. Yeah. Well, okay. We need to do that. Think about how many times you want to do it a week. Yeah, and then let's see if we can just get money coming in, to help you out.
Well, certainly the 2. Sometimes.
See you, Ken.
See you.
See you, baby.
Yeah. Sometimes we've thought about 3, but this is one of the difficulties with this illness, that people coming out as often as you'd like them to.
Yeah, sure.
It depends if you've got something special besides.
Right.
You see, we did have 3 last week because on Friday we had an open air meeting.
Right.
To celebrate the lives of the 8 people that's died during the COVID period. Not from that, but who we've lost, and we can't go to the funerals. So on Friday this last week we did have an outdoor event. The president and her husband put the refreshments on for us at the garden party thing and everything, at the tables and everything. Mr. and Mrs. Maheson, commonly known Penny as Penny Richardson actually, but everybody knows her like that. But they did a marvellous job, and it was well patronised by the group. Basically from people that were in the group right at the beginning, because most of the people that passed away, apart from 2 or 3, were the ones that were right in at the initial stages of setting this group up.
Right.
So obviously they were older. Naturally.
Okay, yeah.
But age doesn't come into it with dementia anyway. If you got it, you got it. That's proved by what you see in the papers and all these footballers and everybody else.
Oh, I know. It's horrific, isn't it?
Yeah. Unfortunately, well, I'm not going to say the word unfortunately. I can be a little bit sceptical, but obviously there's some reason behind it, but I'm sure my wife, I know, and perhaps many others, never had a football, but they managed to get dementia. Were they saying that the football causes it? Probably does. It doesn't do the brain any good, I don't suppose. But
no. But when you look back,
when you look at all the aspects
of
the people who are clever and people that's not quite so bright and things like this, they all get it.
Yeah.
They don't take any.
Well, there's no discrimination there, is it?
No, don't take any prisoners.
No.
But so that's what we're here for, to help these people on that journey before they die.
Will do.
and eventually they get taken away from us and put in a care home. But in between that period, while they can come out with their partners, get them out of the house, give them something to do which they can understand how to do, this is what the group's all about.
Yeah.
And we've had quite a lot of success.
Good.
Do
you have anybody that does dementia books?
No.
No? All right, that's something we can look at. The reason being is there's a bit of technology that we've got, Newark TV have got. We work in conjunction with the Fuji shop. And we produce books that come to life. So imagine you've got, I don't know, a dozen images. Certain images, with the technology that we've got on the phones now, can have a piece of video attached to it. And those voices or a song or a piece of music can be added because they stimulate.
The stimulation that's best for people with dementia is music, animals,
Here we go.
children. They can sing songs where they can't talk to you. It's remarkable.
He's very remarkable.
They can recite poetry where they can't talk to you from one end to the other.
See you next week
Yeah.
then. Okay.
Well, what we need to do then, and like I say, we need to formulate something, don't we?
Yeah.
So that we can go forward and we can say to people,
Don't worry about
please,
it.
you know, at some
Bye,
point.
sweetheart. Bye, Steve.
Hello, that's all right. Yeah.
We'll be in touch.
Yeah, okay, that's lovely. Thank you very much.
Okay, look.
Bye.
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 See you again.
Yes, so.
We'll see you next week.
I hope so, don't
Yeah, I will. Thanks, lovely. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, just by going forward,
Yeah.
you know, and just say to people, come on. At some point, you're going to know somebody because it is so prevalent out there.
Right, it is.
And what we want to do is,
Get them in the fold.
yeah, get them in the fold and, you know, look after them. All right, well, Ken, look, thank you very much for your time.
Well, I hope I've been able to put it across to you. I mean, it's difficult. I'm not camera shy, don't get me wrong, but it's just trying to formulate it in some sort of order.
Well, you've done
From the
that.
time of starting it up to press.
Yeah.
And we've had this horrible gap of 15 or 16 months, being unable to do anything, only communicate by phone and text and email, and keeping the group together that way.
How have you found that, by the way?
It's been, well, we've managed that, but it's not the answer. When you can't see people's faces and make a smile come on them,
Yeah.
you don't know quite whether you're succeeding in what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yes, we've kept in touch with people. That's why they're all here now. And we try to support one another in all different ways that way.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been fortunate that I know at Christmas time, Porter's supplied us with hampers. The town council have supplied us with some hampers,
Oh, nice.
and we supplied at Easter quite a load of Easter eggs that we took round to all the group
Yeah, yeah.
to keep them together until
Sure.
such time as we could meet.
Right.
Yeah, we've done a lot of things as best we could, but of course our hands have been tied like everybody else.
Right. Yeah. Very much so. Well, let me ask you this, because the one thing you mentioned earlier was the fact that you managed to do away days.
Yes.
How do you manage to do that? I mean, do they pay into the pot or what?
Well, yeah, but I have also got a reasonable bank account. We've built it up, and I've kept control of it so that, for example, here today, I generally just have a £1 subscription. There's no charge for being in the group, but by the time we bought the cakes,
Right.
and that, it helps to pay for that.
Sure.
Any residue goes towards the rent.
Yeah.
But we balanced it out so that we've got a cushion if required, or when required.
Yeah.
We've been able to subsidise most of the holidays by 50%.
Wow. Okay.
So people have gone on holiday for 5 days with shares for half the price they would have paid.
Goodness me, yeah.
You know.
That is good.
And when we've gone out for afternoon teas, we footed the bill at
bless
garden
you.
centres and
Yeah.
things like this. So we've got the funds where we've been able to do that. But as you deplete them funds, obviously you need donations to
Yeah, sure.
build them back up again.
How are you finding people with donating into the group?
It's been low, obviously, like everybody says, over the past 18 months. But those that did it previously, I admire them for what they've done. We've had good support from businesses in Newark
Yeah.
and from RPS and bigger businesses as well.
Sure.
Bacavar have been out of this world with refreshments.
Bless
on
'em. Yeah,
numerous
it's good.
occasions.
Yeah.
They're very good at that. Generally speaking, even the smaller businesses, they've contributed to raffle prizes and things when we've held the dances and
Yeah.
things like this, and it all helps to put a little bit back in the kitty
Sure.
on those occasions. But yes, it's best if you can get a bigger business to support you for the year. The TSB did for a year. RPS took us on the wing for 2 years actually,
Oh, right.
which was good, but of course they're not there now. as you
No,
know.
right.
But all that was very helpful in the early days because we'd not got much. I mean, we only started with £900 anyway.
Sure.
After I'd run a dance and we got the residue from what we'd done,
Yeah.
I put my band in there, and since then, of course, we've held dancing in here and subsidised them so that you can have 2 a year. When the middle of the year, when it's the anniversary of the group,
Sure.
and a Christmas dance, and everybody's looked forward to that.
That cost then, is still £35 for that cost to
No, it didn't.
Oh, how much?
Not really high that room for a dance.
Oh, right.
About 300 and something like that.
About 3. Oh, right.
Yeah, for the night, yeah.
Right.
Because you got the public coming in and you're charging on the door. And
Oh, okay. Right.
it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
just,
okay.
Not
Yeah,
just for the group, you see. You run it as a money-making type of business.
yeah.
Obviously, we've made some, but when you paid out guys in the band,
Yeah.
even if it's only travelling expense, I'm lucky because I run the band and a lot of them have done the services for next to nothing.
Oh, bless them.
You
Yeah.
know. But yes, there's always a need for people to back us on this side of it because I know it's the same old cliche, you can't do anything without money
No, you can't.
these days,
Yeah, no.
whichever way you look at it. And what would, as you know, the whole idea behind this, I'm not interested in the money, only having it for the group.
Sure.
Everybody's volunteering, and all I want to try and do is make it nice for the people who've got dementia until they can no longer understand what we're doing and being with us.
Right.
And when they have to go in a care home, then yes, the carer can still come here, and all of them, most of them do, because they still need the support. I
Yeah.
mean, I used to go and watch my wife walking around the ward pushing a pram with 2 dolls in it
Ah,
for 3 years on end.
goodness me.
But what was we doing? Taking the children for a walk. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's how far back in her life she was.
It's incredible that they can actually regress that far, isn't it?
Well, it's with dementia, the first thing that goes is the present mind.
Right.
And as it wears out, the very, very early memories are still retained because they're at the back.
Subconscious there.
Well, yes, in a way. They can associate connections in feeling, and they don't always know you, but they know that you belong to them.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
strange, that is. My wife didn't always know my name when I went to see her, but if somebody said, "Oh, look, Ken's here," she'd probably say, "Yeah, that's my husband."
It's strange, isn't it?
They-
How it connects.
This is what dementia does.
It's a cruel old game, isn't it?
It is,
Dementia?
I mean, the only way to really describe it is the fact that if you've got two electric wires and you touch them together, you get a spark. When they're connected, you've got a current. And as they come apart, you've lost it. And this is basically what the electrons seem to do in the brain, that
Right.
they don't mix, or they're blocked by this protein that
Right.
forms in the brain, you see.
Yeah.
And this is a terrible complaint that they can't seem to stop. They can slow it down a little bit with one sort of medication if it suits them.
Right.
But in the case of my wife, she was worse on the medicine than off it, so
Really?
we had to stop it. But,
Okay.
but this is the story about it behind it, you see.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. There's no two persons the same anywhere in the walk of life, really. So therefore, the reaction on dementia with everybody, you're going to find something a little bit different each time. It's this is why you learn as you go along when you're looking after somebody. I mean, to be quite fair, a person that, pardon me, whose partner is diagnosed with dementia suddenly becomes a carer, and they take on a job that they've no experience on at all on how to handle. Yes, it seems all right at the beginning if it's just progressing that way.
Right.
I said the same, I can look after my wife, that's what we got married for. But when they go downhill further and further, you live and learn on how to handle it.
So you would recommend they get that support in at an earlier stage?
Well, that's right, and not only that though, by coming here and talking to such as me and some of the others that's had 8 or 9 years of it,
Right.
they can gain their experience on what might to expect. You can write as many books as you like, but there's nothing like 24/7 looking after somebody.
Right. Yeah. Oh, dear.
You know. At the moment, as I say, there's no cure, and you just got to go along
Yeah.
on a learning curve, and it's just a matter of experience and how you handle these people.
Yeah.
The secret is to ensure that you don't cause them upset by disagreeing with them, because they say things that you can. You're thinking right, they're not. You agree with them all the time.
Oh, right.
Or twist the words around so as they forget what they've said. I could quote numerous ways.
Well, that's for another time, because we will go. For me, it'll be interesting, to be able to give that information back to people.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, everybody is different, so the situations are going to change. But maybe if we've got like a catalogue, different people's versions of everything, and it's almost like, well, let me see what they said. Let me have a look at what they said, and we'll just work our way through bits and pieces. But I can see there's lots of ways that we're going to be able to help you, and we want to help you, all right?
Well, thanks for that anyway.
Yeah, no, we're going to do that. Before we go, let's just set something in place now.
All right.
Do we want to raise some money? Do we want to raise it for something? What is it we want? And give me a figure, because then what we're going to do, we're going to go out and we're going to put it out there and we're going to start the ball rolling.
Well, let's put it this way, that I want some equipment, and we'll look at £400, £500.
So we'll go for that first, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's agree that now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, Ken, thank you very much for talking to me. And we're going to now get that going.
Thank you.
If you'd like to be featured on Newark TV, why not drop us a line on info@newark-tv.co.uk. Oh, and don't forget, hit the subscribe button